Hello YouTube, this is an alcohol review of Wild Turkey 101. I want to thank Josh Ely 1181 for suggesting this. Normally, I do not do suggestions. You guys out there, you suggest great bourbons and other things for me, and I thank you very much. It's very warmly accepted. The problem is, I live in a very, very boring part of the empire, of the United States. And if you really want to know how, get a better idea of where I live, look somewhere on the map that you would never want to go to and ask those people where they don't want to live. And I live next door to that. So the selection of bourbons and whiskeys and wines, things along that line, tend to be rather small. So you guys suggest these great things, and please keep suggesting. But my availability to get them is rather small, rather slim. But Josh Ely, I believe it said Josh Ely 1181, suggested Wild Turkey 101. And I went rooting through and the local the booze places and was able to find it. And what finally I can actually do a request rather than say to everybody, thank you, please keep suggesting, even though the chance of me ever finding whatever it is you're suggesting is so small that you might as well not even waste your time. Please waste your time. But to be honest. But 101. There we go. All right. So, as you guys who've been watching my channel may know, I cut my teeth in marketing and PR. So I do like the turkey engraved. Well, raised. Not really, it's not engraved, it's raised, I guess, on said bottle. Not a whole lot said about it. Oh, a little bit about it. More than 60 years, legendary master distiller Jim Russell has been crafting Wild Turkey 101 one way, the right way. With high rye content. Really, it's a rye. I snuck that one past me. I'm not a fan of rye. Alright, high rye content. This iconic bourbon is perfectly aged for up to 6 to 8 years in American oak barrels. That makes sense. American oak barrels, by law. Deepest char for more character. That's an opinion. We bottle at 101 proof, and only once it reaches its full complex flavor for caramel, vanilla, toffee, and spice, as Jim says. Like the Kentucky River, Wild Turkey 101 is mighty bold, and it takes its own sweet time. I guess. Never been on the Kentucky River before. Been on many rivers, but never that one. 750 ml bottle, 50.5 alcohol by volume, making it 101 proof. Thus, 101. Apparently, not enough rye in the mash bill for them to mention it. Or it will be Wild Turkey 101 rye. For some reason, rye is making its big hit these days. I am not a huge rye fan. If in case you're in the back of the room and you don't really know the difference between rye and not rye, we're talking rye like you find in a sandwich and sandwich bread, and they add that to what's known as the mash bill. The mash bill is just the ingredients that they throw in, and it gives it a black pepper taste to it. And many people like it. I find black pepper to be florally yet unconnected hot. Unlike, say, a cayenne pepper, which has a nice veggie heat to it that kind of blends well together. For me, crushed black pepper, it doesn't, and I am not a fan. So having it in my drink does not appeal to my taste buds. Mine, personally. We have here a cork that is crushed cork on a plastic that has the logo that you cannot see due to the label. Why is this significant? Well, a while ago there was a blight on cork, causing cork to go up significantly. This was years and years and years ago. And ever since then, they've been trying to find alternate ways of corking the bottles within a price range. And one of the ways is taking ground pieces of cork, gluing it all together, and making a cork out of ground cork. Cheap yet effective. And stop. We re-cork. Love that sound. Off to the side so no critters knock it over. I'm at the missus. Her and her critters. It drives me insane. But there we go. It is a beautiful caramel with a very, very dominant yellow and a bit of shades of red hue to it. This is Kentucky Straight. So, if I understand correctly, there is no added dyes into it. That's the straight part of it. Oftentimes, if it doesn't have that, they'll add coloring to match what they believe would be best selling, best matches the customer's idea, things along that line. It doesn't really affect the taste. It just affects how the eye goes. And unfortunately, that affects sales. It's because it's the visual of it all. Give this a nice little spin. Swirl, 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 swirl. We do this to get the man, no one has a muffler around here. Another problem with my wife's house. No mufflers. Alright. I say do this over at my place, but then the gunshots. What are you going to do? Alright. The reason why we do this spin is to bring the alcohol, the subject here, up the sides, and we'll see how fast it runs down. The faster it runs down, the less sugar's in solution. Why is the sugar in solution? It's part of the distilling process. That you have to add sugar early on, but it's there. And it wants to break. In some spots it does. But it's not very quick. So that implies there's a lot of sugar in solution left over, implying that it is a little thick on the palate and a little sweet on the taste. Do not take that to the bank. Just because it implies it does not necessarily mean that is the case. But visually, we have something to expect. Also, by doing this, we take the solution, bring it up on the side of the glass. When it runs down, what's on the side plus the top evaporate up and gives us something to smell. Because this is a Glencairn glass, it makes a funnel and funnels it to our nose. So if you have a broken schnoz like I do, it makes life a lot easier. It is very lemony, with hints of orange in the background. No real burn to it. Surprising. I'm not a huge fan of American whiskeys. They tend to want to knock you down. And obviously, Wild Turkey is an American whiskey. So I'm surprised at how soft the nose is. If you really want, how tough you are, a Scotch is a way to do it. But American whiskey tries to pretend it's a Scotch without being a Scotch. And this also tries to knock you down. I'm surprised there's no real burn. Interesting. But once you get past that lemon orange, there's hints of caramel, there's hints of vanilla. The basics of what you would expect in a whiskey. And there's your burn. Right off the bat. Gets you good too. On the top of the palate, on the tongue, all the way around. Just take a hot brisket, throw it in your mouth. That, my friends, is the reason why I don't like 101 or any of the high octane types of whiskeys that are out there. Bottled and Bond, not a fan of. 101s, not a fan of. Geez, won't touch unless it's really sounds interesting. Cask strength. No. All these are so high in alcohol that you get distracted from the flavors because it's burning your face off just by the sheer nature of the ethanol. And 101 right here, this stuff does not disappoint. If you get past the burn, oddly no biting. If you get past that burn, wonderful layers. Deep, thick, hard line dividing between the fruits, the spices, all the different layers. It is absolutely wonderful. It's just that burn is very distracting. Once you get used to the burn, acclimate to it, if you will, and don't have that distraction, it's very, very nice. Now, the real funny part is, I don't normally advocate ice in your spirit because the coldness muddles or muddies your taste buds. This would be good on ice. I think because it's so well defined in its layers that the ice would help leash it a bit, take off a lot of those sharp edges. I said very, very few bourbons do I recommend this to, and this would be one of them. I had the missus try this, and I have to agree with her. The best time of year for this would be fall. Think Halloween. Think that type of thing. Think the leaves coming down and whatnot. Because it's so strong with flavors. That would be a great time of year for it. It's way too dominant for summertime. Unless it's a cold summer night. And you wish you get a little bit of numbness in your feet. This is a good way to go. But it's got to be cold. On a hot day, no. This is way too big of a monster for something along that line. I should say a monster with flavor. But that is just simply my opinion. It's very tasty. Very surprising. Much higher, much more interesting than I anticipated. Considering I've tried the other wild turkeys and considering I've tried other American whiskeys that usually kind of fall flat for me. This actually kind of rises up to a much better standing. Now, will it ever be on my top 10 list? Probably not. Yeah. Now I'm starting to get that black pepper. That's that rye you mentioned. I'm very surprised they didn't mention rye on the label. That is the latest thing nowadays. Is for a rye mash bill. But, yeah. Black pepper. Yeah. But hey, that's just me. I know some people out there who just love the black pepper taste. And that might be you out there as well. Any comments about this product down below be warmly accepted, as always, or better yet, go out, buy it, try it, and do a review on the YouTube Spirits community, and let the rest of us know your thoughts of Wild Turkey 101. Is it worth the price? Is it worth having in your glass? Is it worth sharing with your friends? Is it worth leaving it there on the shelf for the next guy? Let us know. And the only way we will know is you going out there and trying yourself and tasting it and see. I say, yay or nay, give it a try. I'm just one guy in the middle of nowhere. See what you have to see. Taste what you have to taste. Until next time, keep on drinking.